Whew. Welcome to another Into the Void real review. This time we are talking about Talk to Me. This very well may be the horror movie of the year so far. It's a creepy and chilling movie that has a sad undertone beneath its facade. In the opening scenes, I was curious what made this movie so special. After all, I knew there was a lot of buzz around the internet about it. And there is a definite scene where things ramp up. And I'm not going to spoil it here, but from the moment of that particular scene, I was all in until the closing credits. This movie grabs hold with a tension that so many horror movies lack today, and then it never lets go. This is put out by a film studio called A24. If you're like me, you know that they put out indie movies that are, they're low budget, but they're always they're really of good quality, and I'm always interested in what they put out. And it shows that big budgets are not a prerequisite to great movies anymore. Of course, I think audiences are now savvy enough to know that. So what is Talk to Me about? It's about a porcelain hand that people put their hand in and see dead people when they recite the words, "Talk to me." I think that's all I'm going to say, because I think going in blind to this movie is the best thing you can do. In fact, I know that makes for a boring review, but I just don't want to ruin it for anyone. In fact, you should probably just stop watching this and just go see the movie, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But just, you're safe here. I don't think I'm going to be giving you anything that's going to ruin your enjoyment of the movie. The performances are believable and spot on. The actors are relatively unknown, and this shows that movies sometimes do better when a big-name actor is not attached to a movie like this, namely horror. A high-profile actor would probably only detract from the experience because it would distract audiences from the real star of the show, which is the tension and dread that's present throughout. Can you imagine if Tom Cruise was in this? You wouldn't be as scared. After all, what can't Tom Cruise do nowadays? The guy practically visits his death's door every film he's in. So the unknown cast is a good thing here and plays right into the movie's favor. It allows viewers to relate more to the characters, making the content even more engrossing and believable. These people act like real-world people would react, especially in the crazy situations they find themselves in this film. Tell me why it succeeds, because it's something that you can see totally happening in the real world. Granted, you're not going to find a porcelain hand, but it's the things behind that you can get behind. Trust me, just watch the movie and you'll know what I'm talking about. Its premise is believable, which I once again am not going to spoil for you. It's that believability that makes it more chilling. Horror, in my opinion, is a lot scarier if those scary things are something that hits close to home rather than coming, for instance, from a mythical monster. Here's looking at you, Voyage of Demeter, which, let me just say, I have not seen, but I hear that film's weakest parts are when Dracula is on screen smiling in a fashion that's out of place with such an immortal creature. Granted, there are some mythical monsters that do work in horror movies. For instance, the xenomorph in Alien, one of my all-time favorite movies of all time, and questionably one of the best horror movies of all time. The reason why Alien works, though, is because there's such a savage nature and mystery to the xenomorph. Once more sequels are made, however, the xenomorph became less scary because the mystery became tarnished, and savageness only works for so long. There's also a very sad underpinning to this movie that's present throughout that hit deep emotionally. And I'm being purposely vague because I think a big part of the fun of this movie is finding out what it's about on your first viewing. It takes you places you won't expect. It's like when you watched Predator for the first time and you weren't expecting it to be about an interstellar hunter alien. So I'm going to make this short and sweet. You owe it to yourself to see this movie. There's such an intrinsic dread and tension that permeated throughout it. And there's also a realness below the surface level stuff of this movie that grabs and won't let you go. So, Talk to Me gets a 9 out of 10, and I will see you in the next review. Bye.